Hey everyone, it's Lacey. Welcome back to Paws and Paper. So I'm here today for our Drab to Fab Friday, and this is actually just being uploaded a lot later than I normally would for my Friday video, so I apologize for that. I'm a little behind on things, but here we are, and we're going to do a video on Drab to Fab. So I got paper doilies today, and I was going to do a journal cover out of these. So I've got... This is an example of what I was doing, taking 3 different sizes of doilies. I don't know if you can see, they're the 3 different sizes, and layering them up to make like a really pretty book cover on this journal. And what I used as my background, I just took these great big like atlas sheets, and I was just looking for something with some pretty colors or whatever, because we're going to cover most of it up. Excuse me. And like this one here, you can see this is like a out of I think it's like a solar system book, and it's actually just like a planet or the sun or something like that. So it's just got really cool, pretty colors, and that's all I was really going for, was just some neat background images. And then I backed it onto just one of those manila envelopes, and I attached a stretchy cord little band here as my little notebook, and I thought these would make just really cute. I have it filled with just different kinds of pages. Just a really cute, simple notebook. And you can see, this is what's really cool too. I found these, this is my kids' construction paper, and it's so old that the way it was laying on other pages, it got colored from the page it was laying on. So it gave it this really cool effect of whatever page it was laying on top of. It kind of like soaked into the other page. So some of them turned out really cool. Excuse me again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still coughing a little bit here, so I apologize for that. So anyway, we're going to try to make this. And so I'm going to use just one of these 9x12 envelopes, but I also thought it would be really cool to do, like, these are like the 6x9 manila envelopes, and if you fold them in half, and these, I got different sizes of them, you could just use the 2 smaller ones, and you could have a little spine like this, and that would make a really cute, just smaller journal. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this 9x12 today. So I am going to, oh my goodness, guys, I'm so sorry. I do have some that are coffee dyed, and I have some that are just plain white. And this one here, I just used the plain white ones, and I went ahead and I did like some watercoloring all the way around. That's what that is on there, just watercolored. And this one here, I just glued. This is not Mod Podged over. I did use one, and I used this Mod Podge, the matte. And here's how that one looks. And this one here, I just went ahead and I used my ink oxides, and I just colored each doily a different color. And this one here is just all Mod Podge, so it's given it a different kind of texture. This one here's got that papery texture, and this one's got that smooth kind of texture. So we're going to go ahead and do the one where I'm just gluing, but do know that you can do the Mod Podge or glue or whatever you want to do. So that's what we're going to do. So what I'm going to take is just 3 doilies, and I'm going to use the ones that aren't coffee dyed so that you can see just what they look like. They're really pretty with just white, the white doilies. And I got my envelope. Okay, so to start, I've got my 3 doilies, and we're going to just place them all on top of each other because they're going to be folded in half. And then I got just some of these big, like this one here. This is just out of like a solar system book. So I just like the colors. You know, it's just really cool. So like this one here is just a big, it's like real dark with the moon or the sun. And then these here are just really pretty with that blue. I just really like the blue colors. So I think since I did a solar system one, I'm just going to grab one of these. Maybe this one here with some of the green and the creams or whatever. I don't even know who we have here. Who do we have? We have Australia and Indonesia. We got Thailand, Asia. All right, that's where we're all in the, we're in the West. The East. No, I'm sorry. We're in the East. East of me, yes. Okay. Don't try to do directions. Just stick to crafting. Okay, okay, we will. All right, so this here, and the reason I chose these great big pages is because I have a 9x12 envelope, and I want it to pretty much cover the whole thing. I don't really want the front of my envelope to show. So what I want to do is to just be able to trim this down to match. So I'm just going to have to do a little bit of slight trimming on either end there. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm really not that sick anymore. It's just a cough that won't go away, and it's so annoying. Okay, so I want to be able to... Okay, I think I'm going to fold this in half first. It's got me so flustered now, I'm having a hard time focusing. I'm just embarrassed by it. Okay, so let's do that. And then each of these will get put on here, and I'm trying to just kind of line it up with like a halfway mark, just kind of see like if my doilies folded in half. It doesn't really matter how you fold it, but that looks roughly in half. Okay, so I think the best thing to do is to cut this to the size of this first. So if there's anything you really like about this page, I kind of want to see Australia here. So I think I'm going to just line it up at the bottom. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so we're just going to do a simple line it up, and I'm just going to use my scissors to trim it down. It doesn't have to be perfectly in line. I can trim it down later. I am going to sew these on here. I thought that gave it a good look. So I'm just going to trim this down to size. And these would work even if your page didn't cover the whole envelope. It would be a good idea for, you know, some of those great big book pages that we get that a lot of times you don't know what to do with because they're so oversized. They're too big to be just folded in half and put in a journal, you know. But they would make good covers. Okay, so that's looking good. And what we're going to do is it's end up going to just go in here like this. And then our doilies will get put over top of that. So let's just do a quick glue. And like I said, I am going to sew this, but I do want this. I'm just going to leave this metal clasp here. And I'm just going to use this as a pocket. I'm not going to even do anything different with it. Like on this one here, I just left it as it was with the clips. And you've got a nice big pocket there. And I kind of like the fact that it just had the plain, you know, brownish paper in the inside. And I just put a piece of washi tape over the end here because I did do an eyelet with the string. And that's how I held my string in there. Was I glued this over top of there so it can't pull out. So I'll show you that too. And you don't have to use this string closure, but I had gotten some for Christmas and I wanted to try it out. I had seen a lot of it and really thought it looked kind of cool. So I'm going to give this just a quick with my glue stick all over, and I will end up on the other one. I don't know if you could see it. I did do random stitching all over with this cool stitching. I just went all over the place because I wanted to kind of hold the doily down. So I did do random stitching all over the front, which I think turned out really cool because then I took and I went over it with some of my, some of this Lumiere acrylic paint stuff that I had just gotten. And so it gave it that like metallic look there. So I'll show you what I did there too, but I did do random stitching all over. And that kind of too just helps hold everything down. So we're going to just line this up on our envelope. And don't be worried, you know, if it's not perfect or whatever. We are going to do some stitching and inking and prettying up. But you just want to get it stuck down so that when you, if you sew around it, you don't have to have it perfectly glued down. But if you're not going to, if you're not going to sew around it, make sure you really glue the edges good. Okay, so here, I'm going to just refold it so I can kind of see that fold better. And this is where I'm going to line up my doily on here. And you can kind of see I'm going to have to cut just a tad bit off the top. Okay. Okay. And I'm just going to glue stick this down around the center here. And then these are just really hard to get glue on, but I am going to try a little bit just to get some glue on the edges. With all these holes and stuff in it, it just makes a sticky mess. So sometimes it's easier to just put it down and then lift up and glue it later, you know, just the little pieces that you need to later. So one thing I find hard about working with the doilies is all the little intricate pieces. You end up with the glue all over the top. Sometimes it's hard to get off. It's just messy to work with, I think. See, you know, like I got glue everywhere, but I did find, if I hurry up, I just got a wet wipe here, that with these glossy pages, I can wipe it off. That way the glue doesn't stick there and I don't see it. So I'm going to wipe it off, and then I'm going to come in with a dry paper towel here. And it doesn't really affect my my doily, but I don't want to see like the sticky glue stick everywhere. It leaves that shiny residue, which I don't really care for. And then, you know, we're probably going to have to go back and, you know, like, I'm going to have to just, that's the painstaking part of gluing down those little itty bitty pieces. So let's go ahead and let's do the next one here. So this is the next size. And some of these, I believe I got this whole pack as one. Like, I think they come as packs like this, where the different sizes are all in one pack, which is kind of nice then, because then you can layer them up and they make a cute cover, I thought, because I am always trying to find ways to use these in a journal. It's just sometimes they're hard to figure out, you know, other than putting them like in like a signature. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what to do with them. But I thought this was kind of cute. Okay, so there we got this one down. Okay, so there we have our 3 pieces. And this is where I had to come through and just take, I got this in an art kit that one of my kids had gotten. And I don't really use this glue much. I don't like it, but my Fabrifix glue didn't have a really pointy tip like this. So this is where I just came through and I just started applying little bits of glue to these end pieces here. That way I could have a little bit more control and get these little bits down. It did help when I sewed it then too, and I did that random stitching all over. So that helped. So this video I'm doing here is on New Year's Eve, and wondering if you guys are all staying up to watch the new year come in, or if you just give up and call it a night, and that's that, right? You've seen too many New Years, you're done with that. Yeah, we'll stay up late. We don't go anywhere and do anything, but we will stay up and we watch the ball drop on the TV and stuff, and the kids will have fun staying. They like to stay up late, so yeah, that'll be my exciting night. So I hope everybody is looking forward to the new year or new beginnings. Everybody always has new beginnings for the new year, and it's a good time to try something new. So try a journal if you haven't. I highly encourage it. I tried it and I got so addicted, and I love it. I just have so much fun doing this. It has become my greatest hobby, and I never crafted before. This is the first time I've ever crafted, is to make these journals. And I'm telling you, I just absolutely enjoy it so much, which I would have never thought. Okay, so we have all of our pieces down, and this is where you can decide what you want to do with your doilies. If you want to ink them all different colors, like I did with this one, I inked them all first and then put them down. On this one, I'm doing the same process I did here. I put them all down just plain white, and then I went and I watercolored all around them after they were all completely done. So you can choose what you want to do either way, or what you plan to do to how to decorate your doilies. You don't even have to do anything with them. You don't have to ink them or watercolor them or anything. I think they're pretty even just plain. Leave them white, or if you do have coffee dyed ones, the coffee dyed ones are really even pretty. But yeah, I think they just look really cool against all that blue, and even with a little bit of white down here. They look cool just being plain white like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and take it to the sewing machine, and I think I'm going to do just a straight stitch, because that's what I did here. I just did a straight stitch. I couldn't go down here, and if that's the thing, if you're going to sew and you want that seam, you're going to have to sew first before you glue it to your envelope, because I wanted to leave this pocket here, so I couldn't do a stitch down here. So if you want it to look all nice and neat and sewn, sew your image before you glue it to your envelope. But I didn't do it, and I think it looks fine. So that's just something preference. So I'll be right back after I finish sewing this. Okay guys, so I got so excited at the sewing machine here. I went all the way around it, and then I started doing my random just stitching everywhere, that I completely sewed my whole pocket down. So we're going to have to modify this one for our boo-boo. And since I sewed everything down, now I'm going to have to, or I want to, cover up my inside here because I didn't want to see all the stitching. So I'm going to use just another one of these great big atlas type pages with some cool stuff on it that I thought was kind of pretty and interesting. And so now I am just going to get this one glued in here, and we'll just build a pocket out of like scrapbook paper or whatever. So let's go ahead and let's glue this down. So see, when you do something wrong, modify it and make it work. It's never worth just scrapping it and say, oh, I screwed up. You know, I can't use that. No, make it work for you. You know, it may not be the same as what you had made before. It's definitely not going to be the same as this one. But you know what? That's fine. We can still use it. So don't be afraid. When you make those errors, use them. Just come up with a new idea. And who knows, you might like that new idea even better than the old. Okay, so let's get that down, and then let's get this cut down to size. And I think then I will take it back to the sewing machine and sew around the edge again, just to have this page completely sewn down then too, just because I like that look. But totally not necessary to do that again. Hopefully I don't screw it up again. Okay, so once we get this all trimmed down here, we'll take it back But it looks, I mean, it looks really cool already. Now you just gotta, it's getting kind of thick now because I wasn't planning on because these like atlas pages are a little bit thicker anyway. Because they're like those nice thick, glossy like atlas pages, but they look really cool. I mean, I like that already. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so that time I just did a straight stitch all the way around, close to the edge there, and I didn't do anything crazy or wild. I just stitched it down, so I think I'm good. So there we go. We already have the makings of our folder, or notebook or whatever. So I had put together just some pages here, and I told you this is just construction paper, and I don't normally use construction paper. I don't know why. It does have a really nice feel. I think it's just because of the colors that I don't really like, but the fact that I found this like in an old stash of my kids' stuff, and that it had like dyed itself like that, is just like this one here where it had been touching green, and so now it's yellow and green, and I think I just fell in love with it more because it had this really cool pattern on it that it did all by itself. Like this one's really cool. This one was touching a pink one. So I don't know how you can replicate that, if you can do that yourself. Maybe you can like wet the construction paper and just like lay them down and let them dry and they'll seep into each other. But that was just a happy accident that happened all itself. So as you saw as I flipped through, I've got 10 pages here of just random different papers. And I'm just going to bind this in here. And none of these pages I have to cut because the 9x12 envelope fits them all in. So let's just do a really quick binding. Can you let Leo out? He wants to go outside. Thank you. And let's just grab some. I just got random thread here. I don't even know what color matters. So we're just going to do a real quick binding. And most of my pages are lined up here. And I'm just going to do a real quick 3-hole in the middle, somewhere at the bottom, and somewhere at the top. Super simple. Start in the middle, and then grab your tail, and I just like to hold on to it. And then I'm going to come up the back on the bottom. And then go all the way to the top. And then pull it tight and come back up the middle. And, oh, now all my pages are moving. Hold still, guys. Come here. Okay, back in the middle. There we go. It shifted a little bit on me now, and then I gotta find out my center hole back. There you go, you're all messed up. That's why a lot of times I just find it easier if you clip your pages. It just holds them together better, and then you don't have to worry about things moving on you. Alright, so let's get one string on each side of the center string, and you gotta pull it tight. A lot of times I just like to look at the back to make sure everything's tight. Okay. So give it a little pull, but don't rip your papers. And then start making a bunch of knots. So I do about 3 or 4. Probably overkill, but it makes me feel secure and I can sleep at night, so I do it. You know, I do a lot of those things like that. I'm like, oof. Makes me feel better. That's why I'm going to do it. And I want them to kind of stick out a little bit. Okay, so there, I got my little tail sticking out just for funsies. And there we go. Okay, so now I was going to decorate this up some. And you can see, I mean, you can just go to town. Like, I had so much fun doing this. This is watercoloring. One took a while. So I'm not going to do that on here. But you can definitely watercolor. And what I used, I just, I have all these watercolored pencils. Let's see. Let's grab just a blue one here. These are Statler. They're watercolor pencils. Guys, I love the watercolor pencils. I can totally watercolor with a pencil. Because watch, all you have to do is do some weird squiggles. I know you're going to think like that is going to watercolor. Are you kidding me? Serious. Watch this. This is how I watercolor. Because I am not much of a freehand watercolor paint artist type person. I will do the cheat version as long as I have a stencil of some kind to outline and copy. I can totally do that. Okay, and I want to do an orange, make our little purpley orange centers here. Okay, now watch this. And I even use, I don't know where I even got this thing. This thing here is just, you can put water in there. It's like a water pen. It's really dirty now because I was watercoloring with it, but it's just a tip like that, and this can pull out and you can make like a smaller tip. I've never seen these. I don't even know where I got this from. But it's just, it gets wet, and so you don't even need a brush. And let me, here, let's go. You want to go super close? There. Want to check it out? Okay, now watch. This is kind of fun. And then you just kind of paint around it, and it automatically watercolors for you. Super cool. You can extend it out and it just gets fainter, you know, as you put more water on it or whatever. Okay. It does grab whatever color you're doing, so then I try to kind of like get some of that off. And then I'll go back into like another color here. And then I'll go back into the oranges and yellows. Otherwise I'll end up with like a green color. So I try not to blend them all together because I'm using the same pen. But super, super cute and simple, see? And then you have this really cool kind of watercolored effect. And I'll probably do that for the whole thing again and make it look like this one, you know? But super, super pretty. And I try to just tie it like this one here. I tried to do like the oranges and blues to tie with the orange and blue here. So I'll probably just kind of stick with greens and blues on this one and the yellows to tie with that one. But yeah, super fun, guys. Watercolor pencils. If you think you can't watercolor, try the watercolor pencils. I didn't think I could watercolor, but I can outline and I can make things wet. I can do that. That works for me. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to play with, and I am going to use, should I use the green on this one or the teal? Ooh, the teal might be really cool. Okay. I am going to try this one. Again, I'm still apologizing for coughing, guys. I'm so sorry. I feel completely normal and I want to do stuff, but I feel so embarrassed talking on camera. But I'm like, I want to get back to making my videos. Okay, so am I going to use... Should I use my finger? Or should I use just... let's go with this. I'm gonna do rummaging, and I got a whole pack of these little finger dobby things. That's the technical term, finger dobby things. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some on here and kind of smear it. I don't like that. I was hesitating to use these because I feel like I use more than I should because it kind of sinks into the sponge. So I am just going to go around and I'm going to do one of these numbers. And this one's going to be pretty faint. If you can see that, it's not adding a lot of color, but it's adding a lot of like shimmer. So maybe it's not going to be the best for like this manila envelope, but we'll see. We'll try, see what we get. It's really coloring the thread though. See, it makes the thread nice and pretty. I wish you guys could see that shimmer. It's really hard to see on camera. But in real life, these have such a pretty shimmer to them. If you, I was thinking like, if you ever want to make like a fairy journal, these would like be like right up fairy alley. That's all I can think of is like fairy, mermaid, that kind of thing. I wonder what these look like on the doily. If we do one like, ooh, look how pretty. It gives like a pale, look at that color. Can you see? Oh, I wish you guys could see this in person. They're so pretty. It's like a real pale, pearly Blue. These are much better in person, guys. I'm serious. Like, really, really pretty. So let's just do all the way around the outside. Kind of playing with that thread, getting that thread covered up. That's kind of the reason I like that. It kind of hides the thread, adds a little bit of something. Since this isn't a real strong one, like a color-wise, I might, and I'm going to hide all the white thread too, because that's what I did with the other one. And I will watercolor over all this so you won't see that, but kind of makes all that thread like a bluish color. So pretty. And this is just the fun part. Now we're just playing around, guys. We're pretty much done with our construction of our notebook. Which, that's the thing. It takes a matter of minutes to get a book actually constructed, and then you spend all your time just playing with it and decorating it. It's pretty much what you spend your whole time doing. So, I got it all over my hands, but can you see? I wish you could see. It's not showing up at all on camera, but it turned out really cool in my vision. Not television. Is it even called television if you're doing it on a phone? I don't know. What is even television? Does it matter? Just because you're not watching it on a TV, you're watching it on a phone, it's still called television? I don't know. Never thought of that one. Okay, so that's pretty there. Let's do one more side and get that all prettied up. Okay. And these here, these are totally meant to just be crazy messy because like they dry really fast. Like I can wipe over that and it doesn't stick to my fingers. What's on my hands is from the bottle. They dry really, really fast. That's why I like them. Okay, so maybe I did want to have some sort of pocket in this notebook. Oh, and our eyelet. I was going to show you that. I better get that done too. So I'm going to grab some of this colorful thick cord, 1.2 millimeter elastic. I got this at Hobby Lobby. And I'm thinking maybe the blue's probably going to be the best. Blue or green? Shout it out. What do we want? Blue or green? Green. Okay, I'm going to go with green. Did you guess it right? If you did, you can read my mind, and that is scary because you don't want to be in there. I can tell ya. It's a fun house. Okay, so I'm just going to measure out. I think I need roughly about like 9 inches of this doubled over. So I'm going to kind of guess. I had to kind of guess at my last one. I don't know. You can't see anything I'm doing. I'm down here trying to guess at like what 9 inches is. Okay, so what I did is I measured this as 9 inches, so it's doubled over because I'm going to do I'm going to just tie a knot, and this is what I did with the other one. I just tied a knot in the end, and then this is what I stuck through. Maybe, dear Lord, you think a knot would be easy to do. Why can't my fingers work right now? Okay, tie a knot in the end. There we go. Okay, and push it way down to the end. And I made these, they're not like this one here. It's kind of, yeah, I mean, it's loose. It's not super, super tight because then when you put stuff in here, it gives it room to expand. So I didn't make them real, real tight, and I didn't want them to bend the pages at the top either. So let's see. I got some cool eyelets here. I never had fun shapes. And these have little fun shapes on them. Like this one here is a heart. We could do a heart. Would a heart look cute? I think a heart would look cute. This one here, did you see? I did a star because this is the planet stuff. So I did stars. I'm like so matchy-matchy. Can you imagine? I actually coordinated. Okay, so 3/16. Somewhere in the middle. Poke a big hole. Roughly. Yeah, are we roughly in the middle? Something like that. Sure. Okay, there we go. We have a hole. Now we're going to fill our hole with a heart because we don't want a hole in our heart. And we're going to chomp it down. And get it squished. Oh, are we in? Okay, are we in there? There we go. Uh-oh. We're doing something wrong. Oh, no. Just have to push harder. Okay, we made it. We survived. So there's our heart. Did I? Oh, I got it kind of crooked. Okay. Oh, God. There's the pause call. Yeah. It was so funny. I had one of you subscribers comment that my husband scared the crap out of you. Which, I'm like, yeah, he scares me sometimes too. But, you know, I guess I'm so used to it. But I had to laugh because it's like, you just don't, I don't realize that, you know, other people might be watching it and all of a sudden this loud voice comes out of nowhere and you're not expecting it. And so I'm like, I am so sorry. That is just him being him, you know. Let's go. Oh, I have this washi tape that's just kind of, this one here. And I'm only doing this just to cover this up. You probably could just put anything over it, like just a piece of cardstock or anything, just to kind of like glue that down, or a piece of fabric. But I'm just going to use a piece of washi. And this washi kind of has like a same kind of theme that we have. Look at me. I mean, seriously, look at me. I am so themed. So what I did, I'm going to lay this out here to kind of my length. And I do this because I don't trust the washi to stick all on its own. And I didn't want that cord to come out. So I'm just going to put a strip of glue, my glue stick down there. And then I'm also going to take my Fabrifix and I'm going to glue my thread part with some Fabrifix here around this so that the string gets glued in there also, because I just don't want it to pull out as you're wrapping the journal, you know, each time you open and close it. So then I'm going to just line this up here. Okay, and then I'm going to just kind of squish it around that cord to make sure it's really sealed in there and pressed down. And this might be a good one to use like the wider washi on, so that you can get that cord, if you use washi on that cord, to get it stuck down. Don't want to cut my book. Okay, there we go. All right, so there we go. We have our cord done, our closure, whatever we want to call it. And I think that's kind of cool. I like just the little bits of random stuff here, you know, with the cool washi and the, you know, the different things that all coordinate kind of with the geography kind of look. So now I have this, which will close here. The green looks really good. And you could add some really pretty charms or anything on there like that. That would be super cool. And what was the last thing? Oh, pocket. I was going to do a pocket. So I want to do some sort of pocket. Let me go ahead and grab, let me see what I have in my scrap. Do I have anything? I want something like a card stock. Do I have something big enough? Ooh, what's this? I saw, oh, those aren't big enough, are they? Do I have a bigger piece? I don't think I do. Oh man, that would have been kind of cool. But that's kind of starry. I guess that would have gone with the planet one bit better. Should I just go grab? I have all this and I can't find anything. You know what I mean? It's like, I have all these scraps, but yet, oh, that's paper. I want something heavier. I have all these scraps, but yet I can't find the right piece of paper. That's why we have to have, you know, 1,500 different things. Okay, hang on. Okay, and I'm back, and I quickly found something I thought would look cool. I just found this piece of scrapbook paper that has different, you know, postcards and stuff on it, but it did have some, you know, pictures of, you know, the continents, and it looks like travel-y, whatever. That's what I'm kind of trying to go for, I guess. So let's just make like a big pocket out of this one here. So let's roughly judge. I want kind of a bigger pocket, because this one, or should I do a whole side? I could do a whole side thing and make a whole big pocket. Should I do that since I did that there? Yeah, okay, we'll do that. Okay, Made up our minds. Thanks for talking me into it. Okay, so let's just do a big pocket here. I'm just going to quickly measure to there and roughly to there. And I was thinking, you know, I recently just joined a couple of these like Facebook groups for all related to junk journals and everything. And a couple people were commenting, you know, like, is anyone interested in doing a swap or an exchange or something? And I thought these would be like a really cute idea to give to somebody if you're doing like a swap, you know, because super simple to make, don't take many things, and it's actually a functional piece for them then to have. And I thought this would be a really cute idea for that. So it's kind of one of the reasons why I'm making some. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I can try a couple swaps. I've never done that before. So let's see. Hi, Stitch. Oh, you found a string, huh? Yeah, that's why you're interested. Maybe, I think I kind of want to make this a little zhuzhed. Where is my punches? Okay, so maybe I want to, would it be weird to round the corner? Is that weird to round the corner in a pocket? I don't know. What do you think, Stitch? Is it weird to round the corner? Sure, Mom. Round the corners. That looks kind of weird, doesn't it? Okay, yeah. Don't round the corners. That does look kind of weird. Oh, well. It's too weird now. It's going to go for it. So I am going to ink this, and it's just going to be weird, because that's what I do. I do weird, right? It's okay. I can embrace it. I'm allowed to say it to myself, so. No one else is allowed to tell me, but I can tell myself, right? Is that how it goes? I believe so, right? As long as you tell yourself that, it's fine. That's right, Stitch. Huh? So yeah, Mom just makes stuff up as she goes. Okay, let's just do that and make one big giant pocket. So I lost my glue. Where'd my Fabrifix go? Oh, jeez. I found it. Don't worry. All good. Okay, so let's glue this down and make one big pocket here. And again, we can sew around it if you feel you need to. And stick you in there. Alrighty, I probably could have put it on the back too, because I kind of like I liked the front picture better than the back pic. Well, but then you're kind of like tucking over that. I don't know. Would have been okay to make a pocket? I just feel like you don't want to have a pocket there, you know, with this thingy. I think I feel like I need to fix that. But okay. So there is our pocket. Don't move, buddy. You need to stay. Okay. So there we go. I think we're going to call that good. So see, guys, I mean, you can just go to town from here. Just layer up some doilies, put it on an atlas page or some big random book page, whatever you have, and you can make yourself a cute little simple writing notebook. So I hope you guys enjoyed this another episode of Drab to Fab Friday. I may be switching it up here soon and switch to some other series instead of the Drab to Fab Fridays. I'm kind of, you know, I get burnt out with doing stuff. I'm not the do the same thing over and over type. So I think I might switch it up for the new year. So we'll see. We'll see where we go here. But take care, guys. I hope you all have a happy new year, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.